My name is Quinlden. I'm president of the Peralta Trustees, Board of Trustees, and I'd like to welcome you to Laney College and Peralta Colleges. We've had several of these events over the past couple of months where we've opened up new centers of technology, new buildings, and they're thanks in large part to the support of our community with our Measure G bonds and our parcel tax bonds that allow us to run these classes, to bring in the equipment. So I'd really like to thank our community for that. These investments in our students and our community are critical for Oakland to move forward, for the East Bay to move forward, for our country to move forward. And so it's always a pleasure to come to these events because they transform what we do every day. I remember when I started as a machinist, we didn't have CNC machines. Everything was manual. Now everything, you're programming a robot to do the same things we did, except a lot faster, a lot cleaner. Inspection is different, but the skill is still the same, understanding the process. And that's the important part, is to give people the skills so they can transfer from one type of technology to another type of technology without an interruption in our lives. And that's the thing I think we really need to keep in mind when we're adopting these new technologies. We need to interrupt people's lives as little as possible. We can't throw people that have been doing one thing out on the street and expect a new group of people to come in and not take care of the people that did our work for a long time. And that's why centers like this are so important, because they give a place for people to make those transitions. You know, you can't just go home in a computer and study those things. It's experience, it's teaching, and it's exposure to the technology that we put in these places, in these rooms, and bring our instructors in and upgrade their technology. And that's why this is so important, and that's why I'm so proud that it's happening here at Laney and here at Peralta Colleges.
Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. I'd like to now introduce the Dean of Career and Technical Education, Alejandria Tomas.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alejandria Tomas. I'm the Dean of Career and Technical Education at Laney College. A lot of my team know that I hate speaking in public like this, so I'm not ready, but I want to greet everybody and welcome everybody to Laney College on behalf of President Obsada, who's stuck in a meeting right now, but she will be here a little later so you could get to meet her. You know, I thought about the work that has been put in to build this space, right? Professor Wen, are you here? Hi. I just wanted to recognize that man over there, right? Because he is the driving force behind this space. It wasn't an easy battle. You know, we had to, what is the politically correct term? We had to battle a lot of politics, a lot of bureaucracies, a lot of resource limitations for us to be able to build this space. But I strongly believe that this space is rooted in equity and diversity and giving Oaklanders, our students, our residents in this city, a space where they could be ahead of emerging technology. So I just wanted to recognize Tuan for all of his work. And I also wanted to recognize entities who have helped us get here. Strong workforce program from the state of California is something that's really helped us develop this program. We wouldn't have been able to buy the necessary equipment. We wouldn't have been able to offer the classes as a test, right, without that grant funding. We are grateful, ever grateful to the Bay Area Community College Consortium. Hi. I just wanted to recognize there's representation over here from the Bay Area, BACCC, who's really supported us in our regional joint venture in getting AI to community colleges. So thank you all for being here. This is really heartwarming for me to see everybody here today. Thank you, welcome, and please let us know if you have any questions. Get to know our program. One thing I must note though, it's taken us forever to launch these programs because the community is still not aware the community colleges are offering AI, right? So they hear AI, but they don't really know it's in community colleges. So as you're out in the community, please let your communities know AI is at Laney, AI is at community colleges in California. Thank you.
Thank you. So before the star comes up, since you were involved in helping us put this thing together, can you come up and just say a few words?
That's okay, Michelle.
Okay, this is Michelle from the Bay Area Community College Consortium.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having us today. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Peregrine. I'm with the Bay Area Community College Consortium. We've been partially supporting the launch of this center through our Regional Joint Ventures initiative. And the intention behind that is to really encourage colleges from across the Bay region to work together collaboratively to address a common challenge that they're all facing. Right? We've seen time and time again when people operate in silos, a lot of times faculty or administrators are trying to figure out something on their own. Meanwhile, across town, someone else is trying to do the same thing. So we were fortunate that we were, I think, on top of AI coming down the pike with some fantastic leadership at the BACCC. And luckily, we kind of saw that coming. And when there was a proposal from Laney to develop AI curriculum and to encourage community colleges across the Bay region to adopt this and to create this center, that we were in a position to be able to support that. So I want to thank our partners at Laney for being willing to lead the charge on this. Tuan and Ali, thank you so much. And we're hopeful that this is going to start to encourage other colleges across the region to adopt similar programs and similar models. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Hold on. I'm saving you for last one. I'm sorry. I just found out that, well, you know, it was really funny when Tuan and I put this together. We were thinking of different dates, and actually we were going to do this on Halloween, on the 31st, but luckily we couldn't. And it just turned out that we picked the 21st, and at the time we didn't even know it was Tech Week in Oakland. So it was just very synchronicitous that it is. But I found out that this organization is a conglomerate. High Wave is part of a conglomerate of organizations that are putting on Tech Week, and I was hoping if someone from Kapoor or High Wave could come and just talk a little bit about what's going on in Oakland and Tech Week. I guess we're the closer, right? Like we're the headliners of Oakland Tech Week.
Hello everyone, my name is Charlize. I'm one of the program managers for Highway, our partner for Kapoor. She's taking a call right now, so I'll be your spokesperson. Oakland Tech Week was an innovation that we've been honestly talking about since probably pre-COVID, that we should have our own unique Oakland Tech Week that focuses on how our city and region is connected to the innovation, not only in tech and AR, but in AI as this evolution is now descending upon us. This year we decided to put that in motion, and within 6 weeks we developed this pilot, which is this year we're testing this out to see if this could be a bigger conference going forward. So this isn't an inaugural. You are part of the first annual Oakland Tech Week and pilot, and we are just introducing folks who are not aware of what the evolution of AI looks like and the social impact and responsibility that comes to it. And also the innovations that are being designed around that and opportunities that lie ahead for all generations to be involved in. So we hope that you guys have been able to take advantage of some of the programming we had this week. We had over 30, I believe, sessions that the community Quinlden played in. It's been a very community-based planning and organization to this, and we're excited to bring this to you, not just this year, but in the years beyond, and hopefully this will be a bigger and better destination for Oakland Tech Week. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, and now the Mick Jagger of the AI Tech Center. Come on, Tuan. Tuan's and Ali's hard work put this whole thing together. So please, tell us some stuff.
5 minutes.
Mitch is very skinny.
Mitch is
I work hard,
skinny?
but I still have like meat on bone. So I'm just so thankful that you all come and share with us your interests, your curiosity, and you're willing to improve the city of Oakland. Oakland is my home. So I've been here for 43 years. So it is my home. So one thing that I'd like to really share with you on top of what the speaker just shared, the city of Oakland really investing in AI. You saw on the posters there, I took the pictures just from the Tuesday session, that the city of Oakland is committed the public funding and the support for Laney College to be the center of one of the 2 AI economic activation zone. So soon we will have more AI activity, and we need your help. Please come and join us. So don't hear Raya say that I am the Mick Jagger. Again, I don't know how to sing. The only thing that I know is how to work up an AI.
You know how to dance.
So that's what I have. Thank you so much. My team, again, without her support, I'm doomed. Look at her. She worked. Last night I sent her the images and so on at what? About almost 10 o'clock. And she's just like sound awake, say thank you. So that means she's working hard. And so, Raya, thank you so much. And Louis, all the support that we have. And I'm pretty sure that we need your help again and again. Thank you.
Before we start, I just want to acknowledge that President Apsara just came into the building. Thank you, President Apsara. All right, we're going to start because we need, to get going. And I'm going to ask a few questions, but if you have questions, because a lot of people here that are very into an AI and intelligent and know the field, if you have a question you'd like me to ask the panelists, please write it down, and then I'll let them choose the one that they would like to answer. So you could just give it to me, and then, we'll hand it over. As you know, my name is Raya Zion, so I really appreciate everyone being here today, and I hope you enjoyed the food. But we're very proud that we are an AI Center of Excellence, and we're very proud that you're here to help us launch the center. I hope everyone checked in, and I hope everyone picked up an agenda. I am the Employment and Workforce Partnership Manager at large here at Laney, and let's begin. I promise we'll get out of here at 1:30. All right. Tuan did give me some great questions, so let's just start with an opening statement, just 3 to 5 minutes per panelist. We'd like each panelist to start with an opening thought on, this is the thought, the most immediate opportunity or challenge AI presents for job creation in a city like Oakland. And if you don't live in Oakland, think of an urban city like Oakland. Would you, Councilmember Rowena Brown, would you like to start? Okay.
Yes. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Really delighted to see that it is a packed room. And then it's always grateful to be back here at Laney Community College as a proud alum. And so, as mentioned, I'm Councilmember Rowena Brown. I serve as Oakland's at-large council member, so that means that I get the opportunity to represent the entire city of Oakland. And so, to the question around what are the opportunity and challenge, this is, I think that this is just really an exciting space, to be quite honest. Once I had the opportunity to I attended Laney Community College hackathon that they recently had at the beginning of the year. And what it did was 2 things really happened. One, it opened my eyes to how in tune young people are in this space. What the young people were working on was working to tackle community-based issues and coming up with creative solutions. So I got to engage with those young people, and then also internally within the city of Oakland for the last year and a half, we've had a AI working group where you have every department within the city of Oakland. Welcome, Councilmember Wong, who's my colleague.
Hello.
She represents this district. And so welcome. And so kind of as I was mentioning, this particular AI working group within the city of Oakland is focused in on all of our city departments and what part of their job and their role, like if they were to pick one part of their job to make more efficient, by using AI, what would it be? So we're currently in this process right now. And so when I personally think about the opportunity, there's a lot of opportunity, and I think of it as a two-way street. So I think about the young people that are coming up in this age and how they can get more equipped to use AI effectively. And then I think about it the other way as well. Those who are already in the workforce and how in their current role, this is a tool to ensure advancement, right? And to integrate this technology into their everyday. And then as far as the challenge, and I think I'm really trying my best to tackle this challenge. Some of you attended my press conference that I had on Tuesday, where we established within the city of Oakland economic activation zones. And we created two categories for that around entertainment, and then another one around AI activation zones, and Laney Community College was named one of those AI activation zones. And so, and the goal here is to encourage community members in the city of Oakland to get involved through tech innovation days, right? To actually join in and really get immersed. And that's really the challenge right now in my mind. How do we get more people involved and not so that they are shying away? Because the truth is, a lot of people are nervous. I think I heard Twan say, hey, AI is gonna take my job, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think that in order for Oakland to have a seat at the table, we gotta bring the technology and the conversation, whether it's via conferences, we gotta bring it to community members, young and old alike. So thank you.
Thank you. Why don't we pass it to Councilmember Wang? I think you've gotten these questions, but just what we're talking about, it's like your thought on the most immediate opportunity or challenge AI presents for job creation in a city like Oakland.
Yeah, definitely. So just even before getting into answering that specific problem, I think what's really exciting about the current day and age that we live in is, has anyone seen the Three Body Problem? It's a sci-fi TV series. Okay, we've had some people. And there was a quote in that TV show that I think really puts, that really addresses this moment, which is this idea that, you know, humanity, just zooming out really big picture, for hundreds of years we were an agrarian society. We moved towards like the Industrial Revolution that lasted for about 100 years. And then we moved towards, you know, the first computers. And that took, you know, a number of years. But with the point being that at every stage of humanity, our acceleration and our progress has just accelerated. And that time frame for progress has been shorter and shorter. And so I think what is so incredibly exciting, I mean, AI has been adopted so quickly, so universally, in such a, from what was like a research, a language learning model that was mostly done in labs, and now all of a sudden so many of us, I know, use that. So I think it's just really exciting, and we have to make sure that our community, our city doesn't get left behind in the dust. Right, and the fact that we are right here in the epicenter of the Bay Area, where there's all these tech companies, and at the same time, what I find so awesome about Oakland is that we are a place with so many small businesses. You go to places in the South Bay, and I'm like, yeah, this is sterile. They don't have as many, just so many homegrown businesses. It's a lot of, you know, franchises, a lot of, it's not as unique as Oakland. The fact that we have so many nonprofits. We have the opposite problem that I think so many cities have, where we have too many nonprofits that actually compete with one another. So we, on the other side of things, when we help, I guess, approve grants and whatnot, we'll get all the calls, you know. We have a lot of nonprofits. We have such a multi-ethnic immigrant community. We also have a really robust blue-collar workforce. And I think that is something that I always think about, is that, you know, especially in the history of Oakland, we had so many people employed in blue-collar jobs. And that's something that I think we absolutely need to retain in a way when we think about the future of AI, is how can AI, and even those who traditionally worked in blue collar jobs, can actually benefit. I think what's beautiful about AI is you don't need to be a coder. Okay, I actually was an engineering student. I don't know if everybody knows that. I had to like code in C. Oh my God, what a nightmare. But I think now that people can start to, instead of being in the weeds of like, you know, if anybody's coded, it's really like you've gotta, it's painful. It's just truly painful. And I think people can move towards the problem-solving element of using technology and our issues instead of being so in the weeds of like the language
Thank
of
you.
coding itself.
Good
So,
thoughts.
yeah.
Well, I just want to mention about this panel is that we're very fortunate because we have government, workforce, education, and industry. So we're going to get, this is true workforce development. You have everyone at the table that really influences training, education, workforce, and government. So next, workforce. Mr. Brian Gonzalez, Executive in Residence with Jobs for Future.
Thank you very much. It's such a privilege and an honor to be here today. Just a little bit on my background, you can see it in the bio. I spent almost 25 years at Intel. In 2018, I was addressing an issue of how do we help markets come to speed with emerging technologies. And at that point, we were going alphabetical, I guess, and we did artificial intelligence before it was as fashionable as it is now. Before November 22nd, 2022, where ChatGPT was released, and then it became mainstream. So AI at that moment went from being an emerging technology to an arrival technology. That means that it's here now. It's really for us to shape it, for us to find ways to make it relevant to everyone. I just want to say, and back to the council member, I've had a chance to travel with Intel over 50 countries in terms of AI. Started programs around community colleges because we saw them to be both urban and rural, and we saw them to be collaborative, and we were not wrong about that. But let me tell you the things that you have here in Oakland that you don't have anywhere else. You have the commitment of the leadership, and folks here in this table are that, and I've seen it. I live across the bay, but you know, I'm keeping a close eye on what's happening in Oakland. You also have the collaboration with industry. You have folks like KPOR and others that are facilitating that and making that happen. Because if we bring in any level of technology, it has to be first and foremost relevant to the people that use it. And lastly, what you have that I see amazing is that you are creating a community of innovation. When I met Tuan, he didn't talk about just what was happening at Laney. He told me what was happening at Oakland. He talked to me about the different communities and how they are adopting AI. And what's really interesting here is that the new digital divide is not if we have a device or not, like I did growing up at Intel, you know, for 25 years. Hey, can we get devices to people? It's not about devices. It's that skill of what people can do with the technology that's going to matter. We're now in the age of outcomes, not automation. We have to focus on the people. We have to make sure that they're at the center. We have to make sure that as we learn technology, we also learn durable skills, critical thinking, problem solving, the things that make us really a community and a vibrant community. So I'm honored to be here, and I'll tell you one other thing. The one thing that you have with Professor Tuan, who is amazing, I had an opportunity last week to be in Ohio. They asked me to speak to the Appalachian Conference on AI. And I asked him, I only have one person that I want to have with me for that. And it was Professor Tuan. And he flew all the way out to Somerset, Ohio. We had to drive all the way out there to the boonies. And he just was marvelous, but he was also marveled by how it's not just what's happening in the East and the West, but in the middle of the country. It's communities that are coming together with purpose and see AI not as a technology, but as an empowerment of human capability. And Professor Tuan represents, embodies that, and he's a gem for Oakland, and we need to share him with the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Dr. Jose Ramon Laziraga.
Lizarraga, close.
Learning scientist and designer at the UC Berkeley School of Education.
It's going to be very difficult to follow 4 great positionings of vision and historicizing of what Oakland has to offer. I come here from with a specific lens on training and education. You know, it's obvious that AI is going to have a huge role in logistical aspects of the workforce. One of the key challenges, I think, not only at Berkeley, but in community colleges and other higher education spaces, is how do we keep up with the training? As the technology is evolving, and I mean, we just saw how OpenAI itself has been dropping new models. It seems like every 2 months, and the opportunity for the application of this type of technology continues to evolve. So does the need for us to keep up with the how we train professionals. Now, one of the complicated things that we see in our work in higher ed is that oftentimes in tech, we craft a singular pathway towards a professional career in technology, and AI is no different, right? Often schools or spaces of higher education, we panic, and so we just develop a curriculum for a specific pathway. We know that that's not the case with AI, because AI has multiple ways of it being applied across industry and sectors, and so the type of professional development and professionalization then has to also evolve, but also we have to find a way to distribute that type of professionalization across community colleges, across higher spaces of you know, 4-year traditional college, but also alternative pathways for professionalization, which places like OpenAI are already starting to develop themselves. So we have to keep abreast from that perspective on what other people are doing around this training dilemma. I think Oakland in particular, I want to say that I spent some of my most formative years in Oakland on Webster and 15th, at the Julia Morgan building, the old WCA, also used to be the dorms for the California College of the Arts. So I spent a lot of time in Oakland coming to understand the grassroots creative ways that our community not only wholeheartedly adopts trends, but we do it critically. Because we know that these technology companies don't necessarily have our communities of color, our low SES communities in mind when they're developing their technologies. We see facial recognition technologies misidentifying our Black and brown communities. And so we need to always have that critical lens, and I think Oakland offers that critical lens, but criticality with design and hope and possibility.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Laura Combs, and Laura is wearing, you know, maybe 2 hats, but we'll give you one. Okay, right
I have
now
a few.
She's representing BAYWORK, an organization that, it's a membership organization for over 45 water and wastewater organizations. And in fact, Laura and I met a few weeks ago because BAYWORK will be putting on an AI conference here at Laney in March in relation to water and wastewater. So if you could please let us know your thoughts on the proposed question.
Thank you. What an honor to be up here with all of these people. My imposter syndrome upon reading who I was going to be with was very high. So, but as mentioned, BAYWORK is a consortium of 45 water wastewater agencies all around the Bay Area. East Bay Mud is a large portion of our membership, as well as is San Francisco Public Utilities Commission and Contra Costa Water District. Those are our and Valley Water in San Jose. Those are our 4 largest, but we have 41 others just within the immediate Bay Area. And AI has been something that's been coming up a lot as it pertains to water and wastewater, specifically the environmental impacts of AI, especially thinking of clean water. I'm sure many of you have heard some statistics that may be exaggerated or not, depending on who you speak with, about the impacts of AI on water and water quality and clean water usage, especially how that impacts California, which is oftentimes in drought, sort of, keeping in mind drought all the time, right? So I think that that's a unique challenge working in the water and waste industry, is we know that AI is here. Some of our industry partners or some of our signatory agencies are already utilizing AI within their departments and in their workforce. But we are in a very unique state in that we are struggling pushing up against some of the concerns that folks have and the oppositions they have, specifically about the environmental impacts. So to Councilwoman Wang's point, this is actually fantastic because, when most people think of water and wastewater jobs, they mostly think of plumbing. That's always the first thing people say. But there's actually so much more. Plumbing is actually a whole separate thing. It's not even considered water or wastewater. So there's engineers, there's folks who are blue collar workers, and these are very, very good jobs, and they're actually diminishing very quickly. There was a big bump during the Clean Water Act, some years ago, or 30 or so years ago, where there were a lot of folks in the industry, and now those folks are getting close to retirement, and we haven't had the same amount of push because so much has been pushed into technology over the last 30 years instead. So finding a way to be able to marry the blue collar need and the need to continue for us to have clean water and recycled water that goes out to the bay and is not polluting, the area that we live in, but being able to marry it with technology and emerging technologies is really interesting, and it's something that we are in the process of learning more of. So as Raya mentioned, because of the AI Center of Excellence that Laney is having here, and because Laney is such a huge partner of us to help us get trainings help us get trainees into East Bay Mud, Contra Costa, San Francisco, we're really excited to be able to host the summit to have these conversations with our industry partners in March.
March 18th or 19th, put it down.
Yes, please.
So this is a question that is near and dear to me. And, whoever wants to answer or how many people want to answer, I'll leave it to you guys. You seem intelligent. Laney College is a school that has a large immigrant population. And I see it a lot because I'm the manager of the Employment Center. A lot of people come to me that are English language learners and come from countries that, are not where we are technologically. Forget about AI, just computer usage. So I'm wondering, how do we ensure that the benefits of AI job creation are accessible to all residents, particularly those who have been historically underrepresented, refugees, or marginalized in the tech industry? What policies or programs are essential to guarantee an equitable future? And whoever wants to grab the mic, it's right there in front of Brian. If you'd like.
Since it's in front of me, I think I should take it first. But I think there's some folks here perhaps better qualified than me to answer, but I'll try. I think that the most important thing for anyone, not only folks coming from outside of Oakland, is making sure that there's access. And not just access to the tools, but access to the skills development around the technology. I think that it's important that we look at this in a very important way to democratize access. And when I say that, I don't mean with folks that see themselves as having a computer science or a technical career. I think that we have to look at the use of AI for everything, everywhere, and for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that to the extent that we can create ramps into that we can create an apprentice program that gets folks into this. And just to be clear, outside the US, there's actually more successful cases of implementation of AI. U.S. leads in technology development, but we do not lead in technology adoption. And that's just something to kind of level set, that we're all learning in this. So we haven't cracked the code. We're not even at the code. Actually, there's some colleagues here from Vietnam where I know that there's some advances in implementation. So we're all learning together. So these folks that come from a different perspective are part of that learning platform for all of us.
Thank you.
Sure, I'll go real quick. I mean, I think just talking about language, I think one thing I wanted to uplift, I actually see Phuc in the audience here, his daughter, Dr. Jennifer Tran, has been working within the Vietnamese Chamber of Commerce to really work with small businesses to help them, particularly small business owners who do not, their primary language is not English, to actually help them provide customer service, run the logistics of their small businesses, and miss all the challenges. I have personally helped my own mother, who does not speak English very well, navigate her own healthcare challenges using AI. So I don't think it's an either or. I think we can actually build these jobs that help communities that have been traditionally left out to actually use AI for their own good. And then finally, I just want to highlight that one thing I've talked about the building trades too is that there's also the hardware component, and again, the blue collar jobs component. Running these AI takes a lot of computer processing power. If Oakland could become an epicenter of clean data centers where from which we run that technology, I mean, there's enormous opportunity to actually bring more blue collar jobs here to the city of Oakland.
Excellent. So I think I want to answer this question in a way of focusing on pathways and like where in any person's life where there is a moment for them to be engaged. So whether they, a person is job seeking and they stop into their local career center, or they, maybe just arrived here and maybe in the country that they were at, they were actually a doctor or a nurse or something like that. But we know that a lot of times the qualifications don't meet here in the States, right? And so where may they end up? They may end up at a Laney Community College, right? Trying to get their education. And so, or even when I think about our young people, whether they're in high school, I just came from Oakland Tech where 41 young people just completed a Bridge to AI program. Okay, so we have all of these folks along their journey, and so I think that it's really on us to connect the dots, no matter where we may meet them, right? So if they stop into the kind of career center here at Laney College, are we providing them with, hey, here's the certificate program that is available. Oh, also available with language assistance, all of those things. And so for those who may not know, I've been in this role as a council member for just 1 year, just 2025. But prior to that, I spent the last 3 years working in the state legislature, working alongside one of our assembly members. And so I bring that up to say that really a part of this conversation actually is state advocacy around ensuring that these programs are indeed accessible to all. Back in like 2017, 2019, the state of California passed a law around the Free California Community College Promise. Right, so that basically California residents could come to community college and attend for free. Currently, right now, I'm speaking with one of our state legislators to see, hey, how do we make it so that whether it's young people or folks still in the workforce, that they can also have access to certificates around AI, right? So I think it's so much of that question is it's kind of across all of those levels, and also will require literally all of us, no matter what field and sector we're in, to also be advocating also at the state level for support to ensure that equity is across the board.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. +1 to all of that, but the only additional piece that I wanted to add is something that we've been looking at in water and wastewater is, and I think it's very applicable to AI as well, is starting the conversations as early as possible with with children. So we actually have started looking at different curriculum that we can implement for water industries as early as 3rd grade, just so people know that those are, just so kids grow up understanding that college, if they decide they don't want to go to college, that's not their only option. And if they decide to go into blue collar, being a contractor or construction or mechanic is not their only options, because it can sometimes look like that. And I think that AI is a good example of that. As we've discussed here, I don't believe that you need an advanced degree in order to be successful in the AI industry. And so letting even children understand that as early as possible in a way that makes sense for their age, I think will be very advantageous to support different communities.
I think one of the things that we that the notion of access doesn't quite capture is what happens after the access, right? And I think there's an opportunity for partnerships that have not, for a variety of reasons, mostly because of funding. Because Raya knows that we've been trying, Berkeley School of Education and Laney, we've been working hard to get that federal funding to do some of this work collaboratively. And that's how we first met, exactly. And so I think there's opportunities and intentionality behind industry partnership, again, always with the critical eye, but understanding that there's ways that we can create very actionable and sustainable pathways towards something, right? It doesn't mean that everything that we design should lead to a job at OpenAI or Anthropic, right? Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that I've learned being a son of immigrants is that immigrants are some of the most entrepreneurial people on the planet, right? They try to find ways to either build a business or enter the hustle, like we say, right? And there's opportunity for, one, AI to be leveraged for that entrepreneurial spirit, but for there to be part of that education, that one of those pathways that we develop to be around the entrepreneurial spirit, not just to get a job at a tech company. Again, all of that requires an intentionality where that pathway is clear, more clear, right? And there's a little bit more of a designed aspect of that. One of the things that we contend with a lot in higher ed, especially at places like Berkeley, is this enactment of equity beyond the rhetorical. We always say, oh, equity this, we're doing equity this. But what really is equitable about what we're doing, right? That pathway is one of the things that I believe is a way of enacting equity. Going to school and getting paid while you learn is also important. Not all of our communities have the luxury of not working and going and surviving and paying for groceries based on student loans or whatever little we get from that type of experience. And the last thing I'll say is, and I think I just want to vibe on something that Brian was saying. I've spoken to UNESCO. I've been part of those types of conferences and conversations with people in the Andean area of South America and Central America. And I would agree that there is a very amazing desire to enact and integrate technologies in ways that are equitable and that are ethical. There's a profound commitment to indigenous communities in Central and South America that sometimes gets lost in the broader narrative, but can also lead us to learn from them in terms of their design sensibilities and why they're doing the integration of AI in the first place. And all of that partnered with the fact that those are the geographically the spaces that are actually where resource extraction happens for a lot of these data centers.
Thank you. You were shaking your head. Do you have something to say?
I just want to double down on what Jose said around entrepreneurship. The next great job is not necessarily go to OpenAI or Intel or anyone else. It's really to create your own path. And I think that Oakland is predisposed to that, maybe because you're a port city. I'm not sure. I can't put my hands on it exactly. Maybe because you have so many immigrant here, that really creates a fabric that looks at what's possible. You know, it looks at this is where we're going to make our mark, like Tuan said. And I think that is so important that AI can leverage. I'm seeing that in Ohio, again, I'll bring that because I have a lot of reference from the middle of the country. The biggest growth in AI is around entrepreneurship. The biggest concern is data centers. And what I'm advocating is that for every data center, there's a career tech center that is associated with it, because those data centers do not create local jobs. They take a lot of resources. We're all happy for the tax base, but we're also going to have empty cities. That won't happen in Oakland because the leadership won't let it. But we all have to work together to make sure that we have alternatives. Thank you. Great work.
I have 2 more questions, and then if anyone, we could take 1 or 2 from the audience, but please write it down and give it to me first, and I'll gladly ask the panelists. To all of that, just as a continuation of that, maybe we'll start with the governmental council members. If you could mandate one single investment to secure Oakland's workforce readiness for the next decade of AI, what would it be and why? Is that too difficult?
No, I mean, I think we've heard, well, I would say that's a challenging question, right? Because the truth is that we really need to make a lot of investment, right? So to have to narrow it down to one, I think that would be a little hard to answer, but I'm just gonna kind of stick to what I've been focusing on is just the education piece. And I would definitely ensure that, I would wanna ensure that we are investing in our young people.
Yeah, and I want to give Councilmember Brown just a shout out for her work. I mean, you introduced this week, right, this bill on the AI activation zone. So she is really, actually, it's not just words, she's actually acting on this. So I would say for one singular investment, I would say beyond the education piece is I think what Oakland can again contribute uniquely when I look at the region is really sort of like an equity focused lens to AI. And I think, I'll say this, I've been thinking around, especially with the port. You mentioned the port, they are actually the real estate holder in Jack London, and one conversation that's been had, it is early, is just like around the idea of can we put in like some sort of incubator there, and I think if it can be an incubator that really, and I have to admit, I'm actually inspired by a musical that I saw, of all things. It was a musical that I saw with the mayor, which was actually this whole story about a young woman who, a Black young woman from West Oakland who hacked her way, into basically this, this incubator system, and she found that ultimately she was both tokenized, but also, but ultimately kind of shut down when she raised issues around equity, and she went on to create her own incubator for the people, not one for the 1%, which is the incubator that she was led into. And I've continued to think about that. I know it's a musical, but that seems like a fantastic thing that we should have here distinctly here in Oakland, to make sure that Oakland is the epicenter of equity-focused AI. And maybe we can get it in Jack London if we can proceed with that.
All right, let's clap for that. All right, so since no one has any questions, I'll continue. And I have one more question, then we have somebody?
Oh.
Oh, why don't you come up and you have to give me the question first. All right, bridging the skills gap. This is what specific actual steps can community colleges, specifically Laney, because we're here and we're the best, and workforce development organizations take together to prepare existing and future Oakland workers for AI-driven jobs? So really everyone here, how can we get together? How could we make sure that Laney students or Peralta students or any community college student are prepared for existing and future jobs? Jobs for the future? No.
Yeah, I love this question so much. And so with the piece of legislation that I brought forth this Tuesday, it's actually focused on exactly that, right? It's partnership with community college, partnership with like the next level, creating internships for the students, hosting the conversation, and really basically creating like a, I know I said the word pathway, but it's really a pathway into exactly where, folks want to go. And so I think, I also think of that in the same way of, say you complete a course here at Laney Community College, what's the next step, right? And so are they able to, maybe go to the career center or another local career center or land that internship that actually places them potentially where they want to go. But I think we really have to zero in on making sure that we are supporting, folks at every level and creating a clear pathway.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think it's multiple paths, right? We heard about entrepreneurship and accelerating, incubating those types of efforts, but also is working, as you do already, very closely with the community around what are not only the skills that are needed, but what are the reskillings that is needed. I think that's important. I think the biggest piece of the puzzle may be not the new entrants, although there are issues around that, but existing workers. How can reimagine their work in terms that is both gratifying and leverages the technology as a tool for augmenting and elevating human capability. And I think we need to look at jobs that is as a series of tasks and look at the technology as things that can complement, in some cases automate, but in every case elevate the human capability. So I think that that's important. I think that Laney needs to also continue to focus on the human skills around critical thinking and problem solving and curiosity, and not just do it all that, thinking, okay, if we learn how to use this technology, we'll be better. No, if we know what problems we need to solve, what challenges we need to stand up to, and then look at these opportunities, then let the technology follow. And I think that's something, because of the focus that Laney has on applied AI, which is really ultimately what's going to make a difference. I think that you're in a good position, but do not stop for a second. Keep people in the center and keep the community engaged.
This was also my answer to the previous question that only the governmental folks answered, so I got to do a twofer. For me, I think partnerships is a really huge piece for, again, I'm representing 45 agencies, the whole Bay Area right now. It's kind of intimidating. But I've gone to multiple community colleges all around the Bay Area and had very similar discussions with them. And I think one of the things that I think we can all really look at a little bit more is how to break down the silos. I think it's really important for community colleges and universities and workforce to all be at the table having these conversations, because otherwise, if we get too siloed, then folks are only aware of what's right in front of them in the pathway, and that can lead to a lot of missing gaps everywhere else. So I think I'm a big into partnerships, but I do think that that's one of the largest ways to support the pathways.
Thank you. Do you have something?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can say that hasn't already been said much more eloquently than I'm probably going to say. Yeah. But I will say that this is something that Tuan just said earlier. AI doesn't think. AI doesn't feel. AI doesn't have a voice. Mm-hmm. We are the ones with the voice. And we have to keep reminding ourselves of that, right? We are also the ones who dream, and our dreams should be the ones that are leading, or should be what is leading our enactment of AI, the learning of AI, its tools, its reskilling, and so on. And I'm also going to do the answering of the funding part. Other than funding the
Yeah.
you know the
Grants
the,
and stuff.
the grants, the collapsing of that permeable kind of boundary between community colleges and R1 institutions. It's very arbitrary. By the way, I graduated from Hartner College. I was a transfer student, alternative pathway, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to say that if I had an investment, kind of like one thing you would invest in, it would be in the arts and activism. Those are the spaces that we should be looking at in terms of what is possible in the future, the criticality with design. I tell you, those artists are some of the most critical people who also integrate technology, but they do it critically and for the good of humanity.
Thank you. Very, very important. Always remember art, innovation. We have, we need to end at 1:30, and I have one question that I'll ask from one of our partner high schools. We have partner high schools. We have Latitude High School in the back somewhere. That's Mike. And he cares about his students because he's out there trying to get them internships. But I do have some good questions as well. So what we'll do is I'll send it out to the panel afterwards. You guys can answer it.
Yeah.
And then I'll share it with everyone. Is
That'd
that
be
a good solution?
Yeah.
The people that gave me the questions. Okay. So this is for Mike. For computer science pathways in high schools, how should we adapt to best connect with emerging AI jobs and with, of course, the Laney pathway? And how can we advance internships with AI for high school students? Does anyone, I'm sure you've come across Brian's in high school pathways.
Yes, of course we have. I think it has to be a really close communication with the local players from industry, right? I think that collaboration is important. I think that they should also be meaningful jobs, right? And I think with AI, it also changes. What I have been noticing is that when you can pair up someone who is domain expert with someone who is a technology conversant or fluent, wonderful things can happen because there's an exchange. There's almost, in some cases, not all, multi-generational learning that is an amazing exchange that really elevates both to something that's really special. I've seen that in not only community colleges, but community learning centers that really become adult and learning centers too, and also career tech centers. So I think it's that combination, and I do think that, if I think in my own past, when you were an intern, you were doing kind of automating the stuff that nobody else wanted to do in the office when you came in as an intern, especially if it wasn't well defined. Well, now AI can do some of that. So you have to make sure that these interns get experience at the, let's say, leadership level. So that's really what they need to be learning, because they'll know how to automate a lot of things. But to have that critical thinking and how you view things and how you look at things responsibly, that's where we can contribute.
Thank you.
Again, I'm somewhat leaning on my own computer science education, but right now, the stuff that I learned in that coding class, ChatGPT can do that. It already does the basic coding, and so I think it's time for those computer science classes to move beyond, some basic, I think, understanding of the code is important, but really it's moving towards how do you use libraries, how do you use APIs and whatnot to actually integrate and apply it and design your own application, things like that.
Good. No, I actually would like to have, put Laura on the spot here.
All right.
Because you're industry, and I know you have internships because that's what you do. And I know you have a high school and a college pathway. At least when I used to table for you guys for Laney College, there were high schools as well. So do you have anything in the future coming up regarding high school internships and also, of course, college internships in water and wastewater that would deal with this topic?
I knew she was going to come to me. I thought maybe I could get away with it. No. Yes, we do have internships twice a year. They are oftentimes for people who are over 18, so that does create some difficulty, of course, for high schoolers. But I do spend a lot of time tabling at local high schools, just so, again, they're aware of the potential opportunities. In the future, I think it would be fantastic to look at how we might be able to work with our signatory agencies in order to have some high school opportunities. On the current horizon, it's not there. But something I am doing is I'm working with a nonprofit called Ignited, and they do various different like educational pathways, and they I'm working with them as well as with the state water board to create different sorts of materials and educational materials about water and wastewater, again, as I mentioned earlier, as early as 3rd grade. And the hope there would be that by the time then someone is in high school, they would actually already have enough experience that they could apply, if it's not through BAYWORK, because we don't have the opportunities for high schoolers, they'd actually be able to apply directly for an internship that's offered at one of our partner agencies and be able to get that experience.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mike, make sure to get Laura's number. All right, so we have about 7 minutes left, and why don't we just work on closing it right now, and maybe everyone could do a closing statement, and then, you know, maybe there's some more taco meat in the back. Go ahead, Councilmember Wang.
Okay. I think generally I just want to thank you all for convening us, and that we have all these people here local to the Bay and Oakland that are thinking about this issue, and making sure that community colleges like Laney are really at the forefront. That is so important, that this is not something that AI does not become a tool of the elite, and this is something that is really accessible to every community. So that's really it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Councilmember Wong. Yeah, I think more than anything, I'm just super delighted for the opportunity to be here, just as a proud Laney College alum, and so proud of the Laney, this department, the AI department, and your leadership in bringing us all together, and really just being a trailblazer in the work. And so I'm so proud of everything that's taking place here, and really look forward to the continued partnership. One of the goals of the AI Activation Zone is actually to bring innovative fairs to the Oakland community, and so cannot wait for that vision to be realized. It's going to be phenomenal, and so, you know, was it Mike at Latitude High School? Make sure that the young people show up for that, right? Because I think that those type of innovative days are so important. And then just in addition to that, you know, Oakland is really looking forward to just really leading in this space, and so with so many of the amazing partnerships that we have. So once again, thank you so much for everyone for being here, and look forward to the continued conversation.
Thank you.
I want to thank the organizers for bringing this together, for not doing it on the 30th or 31st Halloween, because we needed Twan in Ohio.
Is that when he was in Oakland?
Yeah.
We canceled because
There you go.
kids to have to go trick-or-treating.
There's always a reason. But what I want to say to Oakland is continue to role model and again, I don't live in Oakland, but I admire so much the work that you're doing. I have friends and family that live in Oakland, so close enough. But I do think that you're not only a role model for the region, for the state, but for the country, and I saw that in person when I brought Twan into Ohio. And I think also for the world, because you're so connected as a port city. For those of you that are looking at AI, but from the fringes, jump in. We need everybody in here, because we need to shape it. It's still early going. We need to shape it with examples and role models of responsible use, right? Because you can do it many times doesn't mean that you should. So the only way that we can get that, there's a couple ways. There's heavy regulation, which some states do, and then they forget implementation. so they lose. We're not like that here in Oakland, and I think it's us, for the rest of us, to make sure that that moves forward by role modeling responsible use. So with that, I want to thank everybody for your time.
Thank you.
I feel like I made new friends up here. And I think you should be profoundly proud of the work that you're doing here at Laney College. I can tell you with a high level of certainty that the level of conversations that are happening at community colleges and at Laney College are not the same kind of conversations that are happening at universities and R1 spaces that are supposed to be the sites of innovation. A lot of these spaces are concerned with cheating. They're concerned with, like, you know, how do we make sure that we're controlling our students rather than leaning into innovation and leaning into the parts of this work that I feel are more necessary rather than policing students. I want to say that AI has the potential of great things, but it also has the potential of a lot of bad things. And it has the potential of exacerbating the very ills that our society already imbued in society, and nobody knows it better than the communities in Oakland. But also Oakland knows how to resist in ways that no other spaces I've seen. I also don't live in Oakland anymore. I live in Davis, and it's only because my husband has an appointment there as a professor at Davis. But I miss this place so much because of that spirit that I'm describing. And so be proud, stand proud, know that you're doing things that other places are not either capable or unwilling to do, and that we are capable of not only being consumers of AI, like you said, we are capable of being creators of AI, and we need to lean into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor to be here and to, speak on behalf of industry. So thank you to the organizers, and thank you, Raya, for inviting me. I didn't mention this, and it's not in my bio, but I lived in Oakland for some time as well. I went to Mills College and lived in Oakland. Yes. And I worked at Highland Hospital for a few years as well. So Oakland is always very near and dear to my heart. I live in the city now, but I do feel like I kind of grew up here. My husband did all of his prereqs here at Laney, so I was here a lot on campus. So it is just really an honor to be up here and to be able to speak about something as important as AI that is impacting us at what feels like a very rapid rate every single day. And I absolutely agree, it does have the potential to be very harmful. So the more people that are supporting it to be utilized responsibly and utilized in a way that is actually helpful is going to shape the future of AI. So thank you all so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I just want to acknowledge, first of all, Oakland is kind of a village, isn't it? Because although we're pretty progressive and a large city, maybe not next to the one across the bay, we are pretty, significant. And I'd like to thank the council members that came today, but also we have people from the Oakland Workforce Board here. We have two chamber organizations. We have the Chinatown Chamber of Commerce and the Vietnamese Chamber of Commerce. I know Dr. Jennifer Tran is here, and Ms. Stephanie Tran is here, the Trans. And there's, there you go. Oh, and of course our new best friend in the back is Mr. Philip Tran from the Vietnamese Chamber of Commerce as well. So thank you very much for coming here and spending some time with us. Doctor, or for me, you're my doctor, Mr. Tran, Mr. Nguyen, Tuan. Do you want to say anything? Do you want to say thank you? Do you want to say something?
Definitely, I would like to say thank you to each one of you. Spend your times and stay away from whatever other activities or commitments to make it here. Second thing, I'm not a doctor.
To me, you're a doctor.
I only spent 7.5 years for my PhD work at UC Davis. Until the day my research professor said, Tuan, you need to move on. I don't mind if he said that after the first years. But after 6.5 years, saying that it hurts a lot. And then my other professor took me in and said, Tuan, I give you a year to figure out your life. Here, my life. So what else can I say? Well, I really thank you, every one of you, to give me the opportunity to showcase our need to the communities. And we need more. We need collaboration. We need support. I know for sure that I will be working with Northeastern University because of the commitment from the city to give us the opportunity to work and help our community. Oakland has no other ways to go but up. Would you agree? Yeah. So, I remember saying at the hackathon, we had a lot of fun and exciting ideas. And I say that, never say that we cannot be the next Elon Musk.
Ooh.
However he is, right? I am thinking crazy. Go from one of my students, go to the website Swan, blackswan.ink. They have a headband on to control the flying drones. Hey, think that is the new technology? Don't you think?
I know.
I'm working for my father because my father cannot walk anymore. He has to use the cane and very difficult. I say that. Give me a few years. When you think of walking, something will come up and help you. He only needs to think. That lady on the video, the website, put on the bands to control the flying drone.
Yeah.
That is
All
what
right.
I need to also learn again. Thank you so much.
All right, please enjoy. Schmooze, talk to each other. Thank you very much.